I'm Professor Marty Pfeiffer. I'll walk you through a few tricks I've learned to make properly formatted essays easier. Here are the concepts we'll cover. First, we're going to change the interface of Microsoft Word to make it more conducive to writing and formatting essays. Then, we're going to learn how to format text automatically with styles. Next, we'll create automatic page numbers formatted with your last name next to them. Finally, we'll automate citations. This is one of the benefits of using Microsoft Word to write your essays. Many web-based word processors like Google Docs and even the online version of Word handle citations like we had to in the old days, manually. Creating and formatting citations is a very repetitive and laborious process, and those types of tasks are perfect for computers to do. So we're going to use Microsoft Word to make those tasks easier, automatic, and accurate. Before we start, let's change the interface to include some useful features. In the Windows version of Word, group titles display under each set of icons on the ribbon. For whatever reason, the Mac version of Word doesn't show them by default. This is probably to save a little screen real estate, but for our use, displaying them will make it easier to find the different functions we'll use. So let's turn them on. On the menu bar, click Word and then select Preferences. The preference we want to change is in the View group. At the bottom of this window, make sure Show Group Titles has a check mark next to it. Then we can close the window. Since we'll need to change an indent setting, it will be handy to see the ruler. If you don't see the ruler, go to the View tab, and then in the Show group, click to put a check mark next to the ruler. One of the reasons we use plain styles in our essay format is so that the professor evaluates it based on its content, rather than, "Ooh, this essay looks nicer than your classmates because you used a fancier font." Or maybe your professor hates Comic Sans, but you love it. It would be unfortunate if your brilliant essay wasn't taken seriously because it was written in a whimsical font. To help eliminate these types of misunderstandings, we've kind of all decided we're going to use Times New Roman. Some professors might allow you to use another standard font like Helvetica or Arial, but for this demonstration, let's stick to Times New Roman. We'll change the font by going to the Home tab in the Font group and changing it to Times New Roman, and then choosing 12 point. Then we need to make this double-spaced. I've seen students type a single line and then press Return twice, and then type the next line. Yikes! That makes it a nightmare if you change anything later. The text won't properly reflow, and you'll constantly be fighting the computer to keep your paper double-spaced. Just say no to extra work. We're going to let the computer double-space for us. So go to the Home tab, and then in the Paragraph group, there's a button that drops down a spacing menu. Click on it once to change it to 2.0, which is double spacing, and then click on it again and select Remove Space After Paragraph. If you click on it a third time, you'll notice the setting now says Add Space After Paragraph. It's a toggle. Now we're going to redefine the normal style. Everything in this essay needs to be double-spaced Times New Roman 12 point. Most text is based on the normal style, so changing it will change every other style to match. On the Home tab in the Styles group, there will be either a Styles gallery or a Styles button. This will depend on the size of your window. The ribbon reformats to show as many functions as it can, but if the window is too small, it will collapse some functions into a button. If this is the case, you can either click on the button or resize the window. Either way, display the Styles gallery and right-click on Normal and choose Update Normal to match selection. Now obviously, we want to identify ourselves, so the professor knows who's written the essay. Since you've set up the normal style to properly format the text, type your full name, the professor's name, the class name, and the date. 4 separate lines. Next, we need to identify the essay. To center the title line, from the Home tab in the Paragraph group, there's a set of 4 icons that will affect text alignment. choose the second option to center the text. Then type the title of the essay. Since this centered title format will also be used on the Works Cited page, let's save the format in a style. Once again, on the Home tab in the Styles group, right-click on Heading 1 in the Styles gallery and then choose Update Heading 1 to match selection. In the body of your essay, the first line of every new paragraph needs to be indented ½ an inch. You could do this by pressing Tab each time you start typing a new paragraph, but that's extra work. Instead, let's set a first line indent and then save it to a style. On the left side of the ruler, click and drag on the top triangle to the ½ inch mark. And then, from the Home tab in the Styles group, click the Styles pane button to bring up a pane on the right side of the window. Choose Show All Styles from the List drop-down menu. Then, we're going to have to scroll down quite a bit to find a style called Body Text First Indent. This time, hover over that and click on the arrow to summon a drop-down menu. Choose Update to match selection. Now let's create page numbers. We'll also set the margins to 1 inch while we're at it. Go to the Layout tab, Page Setup group, and click on the Margins drop-down menu button. Make sure Normal is selected. As you can see, this sets all the margins to 1 inch. To set up our special page numbers, we'll go to the Insert tab, and from the Header and Footer group, click on the Header drop-down menu button and choose Edit Header. This will move the text cursor into the header. It will also spawn a new tab called Header and Footer, with all the functions we need in one place. Our page number needs to be aligned to the right. Fortunately, there are already some preset tab stops. Press the Tab key twice to get to the right-aligned tab. Type your last name and then a space. Now, you'd think you could just press that tempting page number button in the Header and Footer group, but that won't let you put a page number right after your last name. You can do that on Windows, but on the Mac, this only lets you put a page number in a few preset locations on the page. Instead, we'll use a more general-purpose solution, an automatically generated text field. In the Insert group, click the Field button. This will open a dialog box for all the different types of fields we can use in Word. A field is a way of automatically entering different bits of text. In our case, we want a page number. So first, we'll change the category to Numbering to whittle down the field names. And then from the Field Names list, choose Page. You'll see there's a description for what the field will do. It says, insert the number of the current page. That's exactly what we want. Press OK. Now we have your last name attached to an automatic page number at the top of every page. To get out of the header area, double-click anywhere in the main body of the document. Now here's a biggie, automating citations. We want to document the sources that you use to state facts or ideas that are not your own in your essay. But first, we need to let Word know what bibliography style that the professor is expecting. From the References tab in the Citations and Bibliography group, we want to choose the correct style. Generally, in college essays, it's one of these three: MLA, which stands for Modern Language Association, APA, American Psychological Association, or Chicago, which is short for the Chicago Manual of Style. I'm most familiar with writing essays in the MLA format, so that's what this video will assume you're using. But if you are asked to use APA or Chicago, you would choose that type of bibliography style here. And it does matter, because each of those styles format references slightly differently. Formatting citations is one of those fiddly details that, unless you do it for a living, you would have to look up how to do it each time for each different type of source to make sure you aren't doing it wrong. But if that's the case, why not just let the computer worry about it? So let's say we have a citation of a brand new source in your document. Since this is the first use of this source, we need to set it up. First, position the text cursor where you want the citation to go. On the References tab in the Citation and Bibliography group, click on the Insert Citation button. This will pop up a dialog box. You want to choose the type of source, be it a book, website, or an article in a magazine. Fill in all the applicable fields. If you don't see a particular field listed, you can check the Show All Bibliography Fields checkbox to display more fields you can fill in. For names of authors and editors, there is an Edit button where you can type in different parts of a person's name and they will be properly formatted. Click the Add button at the bottom to enter additional names. Generally, you want to enter these in the same order they are listed in your source, which may or may not be alphabetical. If you need to add, delete, or reorder the names, there are buttons at the bottom to do that. Now, on subsequent citations of the same source, you'll use the Citations sidebar. Open it from the References tab, Citations and Bibliography group, by clicking the Citations button. Position the text cursor where you want the citation to go and then double-click on the source in the list. For books and magazines, it's helpful to have the page numbers that you referenced, in addition to your citation. To do that, we can just click anywhere on the citation in your essay and then click on the drop-down menu and then choose Edit the Citation. Type the relevant information in the Add Pages field, and then press OK. So now let's create the Works Cited page. Since this needs to be on its own page, go to the Insert tab, Pages group, and click on the Page Break button. Next, click on the References tab, and then in the Citations and Bibliography group, click on the Bibliography drop-down and choose Works Cited. If you make changes to your document and add or edit sources, you'll need to regenerate this page, which is really a field like the page number. Click on any of the text in the Works Cited and it will highlight the entire frame. Click on the drop-down menu above the frame and choose Update Bibliography, and it will add the new or changed information. And that's it! So here are the two big ideas I hope you'll consider. Styles make formatting text easier and more consistent. Word can automatically generate proper citations and Works Cited pages when you feed it the right information. I wish you the best of luck in your academic adventures.